Hello and welcome to another video. I hope that you're all very well. Finding a good driving instructor is important, not just to help you to learn to drive, but also to make your journey of learning an enjoyable one. Here in the UK, you can choose to learn to drive from a driving instructor, a friend, a relative, a colleague. All they simply need is a suitable car with you on the insurance certificate. They also need a license for a minimum of 3 years and be over the age of 21. Having said that, only a driving instructor that is registered with the DVSA can ask you for payment. It is against the law. It is a criminal offence for anybody else, whether that person is your friend, your neighbour, your colleague, or anybody else, to charge you, to ask you for money in exchange for driving lessons. The process of becoming a driving instructor is not a simple one. Firstly, the person has to undergo a criminal record check. Then there's the theory test, followed by the advanced driving test. On completion of this advanced driving test, the person must then undergo a minimum of 40 hours of training on how to teach learner drivers. Then and only then are they allowed to apply for a training driving instructor certificate. They can then teach learner drivers and gain more experience. However, by law, all training instructors must display a pink badge in the front windscreen of their car. So if your driving instructor is displaying a pink badge on the windscreen of their car, then you know that your driving instructor is a trainee driving instructor. After this trainee driving instructor has gained experience, they can then apply for their final qualifying exam, where they demonstrate to the examiner that they can teach to the required standard. And once again, by law, a qualified driving instructor must display a green badge in the front windscreen of their car. So if your instructor's got a pink badge, then you know that the instructor is a trainee. If your driving instructor has a green badge, you know that your instructor is fully qualified. However, if there is no badge in the instructor's vehicle, then I'm sorry to say, more than likely your instructor is teaching you illegally. There are several ways of finding a good driving instructor. Usually a combination of these methods work best. I personally would start off with asking for recommendations, because if someone's recommended you their instructor, then they will tell you about the instructor. They will tell you whether the instructor is reliable, whether they cancel the lessons often or not, and they will tell you a bit about the instructor's teaching style. But let's just assume for the time being that you can't find a recommendation, or maybe you're new to the area. So the next best thing to do is look on the government website. So if we log on to gov.uk and then in the search bar type in find driving instructor, we'll come to this page, and then on the second link down, find driving schools, lessons and instructors. Now, before we start, there's a sentence here saying approved driving instructors choose whether or not to be on this service. So not all driving instructors will be listed. If a driving instructor is not on this page, it does not mean that they are not qualified. If you want to check whether a driving instructor is qualified or not, you can simply contact the DVSA on 0300 200 1122. Alternatively, you can email them on customerservices@dvsa.gov.uk. All you require is their name and, if possible, their ADI number. So let's start the process. So I've just entered the postcode and there are 40 instructors nearest to SL00EP. There are 10 on this page with 4 pages in total. Now, these instructors are listed in order of distance away from the postcode. So the first 2 instructors are 0.0 miles away, which is myself here and my wife. Then we have Colin, who lives 0.5 miles away, Linda, who lives 0.7 miles away, etc., etc. You will see the instructor's email address here, and you will notice that some instructors also display their website address. So if I click on this link, you can view the instructor's website. You can go back there and it takes you back to the government website. Also, you'll notice that some instructors will have these ticks next to CPD and AID COP. This basically is that the instructor has volunteered to their continuing professional development. And here that the instructor has agreed to abide by the code of practice, the voluntary code of practice. They're both voluntary, and you will notice that both my wife and I, Colin, Linda, we have all agreed to abide by these voluntary codes, but Robert here has not agreed. Now, another thing you will notice is here it says latest standard check test grade. All instructors are check tested every few years and are given a grade A or a grade B. You will notice here my wife has a grade A and so do I. Unfortunately, the rest of the instructors on this page have chosen not to display their grade. So that is the information on the website. So let's assume that you've got 2 recommendations from your friends and you've also looked on the government website and you've found 2 instructors who live very nearby your house, and you know that these instructors are fully qualified, otherwise they would not be on the government website. At the same time, let's say you found a few instructors on Google. So you've got these 6 instructors. The next thing you want to do is phone them all. Do not email them, do not send them a text, phone them all, one at a time. It's important that you know that it is illegal for a driving instructor to be on the phone whilst they are teaching. So if you phone an instructor and while they are trying to talk to you, they're still trying to teach, then you know that is not a good instructor. And those are the type of instructors you want to keep away from. So let's assume now that you phoned the instructor answers your call, he's not teaching. What are you going to say to this instructor? You want to ask questions. For example, how long are the lessons? Some instructors will have their lessons 45 minutes long, while others will have them an hour long. Some instructors may even do 1.5 hour lessons. You want to find out what the cancellation policy is. So if you do want to cancel your lessons, do you need to give them 24 hours notice, 48 hours notice? Also, you want to find out what the instructor's teaching style is. Now, you may be a visual learner, which means that you will learn by seeing things, by seeing colourful diagrams. But if the instructor doesn't even believe in these colourful diagrams, if the instructor doesn't believe in any diagrams at all, then that instructor may be a good instructor, but may not be suitable for you. So the next thing you want to do is look at independent reviews on those instructors. Use platforms like Trustpilot, Facebook, Google, and don't rely on reviews on that instructor's own website. Once you've got these reviews, once you've chosen the instructor, you've made your decision, look, I've spoken to this instructor, I like the instructor's local, I like this person, I like the person's teaching style, and this is the instructor I'm going to choose. You do not want to part with a lot of money to that instructor. Driving instructors may offer a discount for doing 10 hours in advance, but you do not want to give your money up front like that until you've had a few lessons with the instructor and you are confident about the teaching style. You are confident that there is no personality clash. The most important thing to remember is that you are the paying customer. If you do not get on with the instructor, if you feel that you are not making progress with the instructor, then change instructors. I hope you found this video beneficial. If you have, you know exactly what to do. Give it a thumbs up and please do share. Thank you for your time. Take care. Bye-bye.